remaining schedule, so a tall task ahead for the Carolina Panthers. Will Cam lead the Panthers to the playoffs, Dan?
I don't see that happening, no, Molly, mainly because we would be banking on things happening, three things happening that haven't happened in really 3 years, specifically to Cam Newton. One, stay healthy. You know, everyone's talking like, whoa, vintage Cam is back and he's going to run the football. And those hits are going to add up like they have over the course of his tenure, an incredible Hall of Fame tenure career. Number two, don't give the ball away. That's what hurt Sam Darnold, his performance over the last month is he started to give the ball away. The last time we saw Cam Newton play football, he was giving the ball away. And then three, have a stretch of football that's really good. The truth of the situation, Molly, is we have not watched Cam play a good stretch of football, more than 2 games, since 2018. That's 3 years ago. And this game is hard. For us to think that Cam, after not doing something for 3 years, is going to come in and just automatically be healthy, not give the ball away, and play really good football, that hasn't happened in that period of time, I'm not banking on that. I don't believe that's going to happen. No. So, while I love their defense, hopefully could come in and play well, and it's a great story, I don't see Cam leading this team to the playoffs.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I would tell you they've got a chance because of their schedule over the next 3 weeks. Now, those last 4 weeks of the season, it's a little bit different. I mean, if I sit up here and I pull in their schedule right here, I got to remember it right here. They got the next 3 weeks. You got the Washington football team. You got Miami. You got a bye week, and then you got the Falcons. All 3 of those are winnable football games for the Carolina Panthers. After that, you've got Buffalo, Tampa, New Orleans, and Tampa again. That's why I would say I tend to agree with you. But having said all of that, I also want to challenge you on something. First of all, I'm very, very happy for Cam. I'm happy that he's excited, even though I think it was definitely more box office than box score, which was a question that we presented earlier this week. There is no doubt that that's in our minds, not Cam Newton. I don't think he's there to sell tickets and that's it. He's there to win football games. I totally believe him. He's an athletic stud. As far as I'm concerned, I have profound respect for him. And the cigar bar in Atlanta down the block from the Mercedes-Benz Dome is slamming. I would strongly advise people to go there. He owns that spot. Having said all of that, Dan Orlovsky, I'm going to take issue with something else that you said that's not very, very popular, but I'm going to say it anyway. When you talking about Hall of Fame career, I don't believe Cam Newton has had a Hall of Fame career.
No?
No. He's got a 68-55 record in 10 seasons as the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers.
I'll destroy that.
He did win a league MVP. He did take them to a Super Bowl. He is devoid of any Super Bowl championships. He's had one 4,000-yard passing season. He's got a career 191 touchdowns to 118 interceptions. It's not even a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. I'm just saying. I mean, how many NFC championship games has he been in? 1?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, where's when you say Hall of Fame, I respect Cam.
Yeah.
I don't see Hall of Fame. I will remind you before you make your point. Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowl championships.
He's a lock.
And a lot of us have looked at him and said, we question whether or not he's had a Hall of Fame career. Just so you know, not just me, Ryan Clarks of the world and various others have been right on this show, football aficionados like yourself, questioning sincerely and significantly. We love and respect Eli Manning, consummate professional, great guy, really funny on television. He's got 2 Super Bowl championships, MVPs. We get all of that. He's a Manning. So because of that, chances are he will get into the Hall of Fame. But when you look at his career 500 record, him missing a playoff 6 times in 7 years, 7 times in 8 years, stuff like that, we've questioned that. I'm just looking at Cam's resume, and I'm saying to you, stud, considered, one of the elite talents in the game. When you talk about throwing that football with accuracy, career 60% completion of his passes, stuff like that in this era where defenses clearly weren't allowed to do the things that they were allowed to do in the previous eras, I don't see Hall of Fame, bro.
Well, Cam's numbers were stacked up in an era where they were allowed to do things rather than in the past couple years.
He's been there since 2011.
Hold on. I don't have a computer in front of me, so I need you to do two things for me.
Sure.
Find me his total offense, because that, not just passing yards, find me his total offense and his total touchdowns, because we could give the touchdown to interception ratio, but we also got to add in how many rushing touchdowns with he is. I would tell you this. I don't know how many number one quarterbacks have flipped a bad organization into a good one. I have said that many a times. How quickly a number one pick that Cam Newton was took that team that was selecting at one because they stunk into the Super Bowl. Number two, we have to understand how he impacted the position, how he changed the position. First it was Michael Vick, then it was Cam Newton. Now every quarterback
Randall Cunningham before them, but go ahead.
Okay, now every quarterback has to have, or the great majority of them has to have physical attributes like Cam Newton. The fact that he won an MVP matters. The fact that he went to a Super Bowl matters. And I would be willing to bet that his total yardage over that course of decade and his total touchdowns are probably leading the league in some capacity, or right up there near the top. By the way, Eli Manning is an absolute lock. He's a lock for the Hall of Fame. Statistically, where he ranks is an absolute lock. What are his total touchdowns to interceptions, Stephen A?
Are you talking about Cam Newton?
Yes.
I'm looking for it right now. We got Wi-Fi issues here and stuff like that. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now.
I don't have TD interception ratio either.
The second I look for it, I'll find it. But I do know this: Eli Manning had a career 500 record. I do know that. And all I'm saying to you, when you consider that in the inordinate amount of times that they've missed the postseason, there are legitimate discussions. I don't consider, statistically, I don't consider Eli Manning a Hall of Famer either. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.